here for you with 6 News This Morning.
Good morning, Mid-Michigan. Thank you for waking up with us. It's Sunday, February 20th. I'm Michael Thomas. The time is 6 o'clock, and we're here for you now with this morning's top stories. We begin this morning with troubling new signs of Russia getting closer to invading Ukraine. Now, Russian President Vladimir Putin oversaw a series of nuclear drills this weekend, including a mock battle. At the same time, Russian separatist leaders over in eastern Ukraine ordered women and children to evacuate, with thousands of others already gone. CBS News correspondent Christina Ruffini is here for you now with the latest.
We're not really living in delusion. We understand what can happen tomorrow.
Taking center stage at the Munich Security Conference, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky told a ballroom packed with diplomats and government officials that his country cannot afford to panic.
Putting ourselves in coffins and waiting for foreign soldiers to come in is not something we are prepared to do.
Zelensky's visit to Munich was short, with many Western allies privately advising him not to risk leaving Ukraine.
Welcome. I'm looking forward to our conversation.
But Zelensky said he wanted to make his case himself, in person, pressing the U.S. and European allies to sanction Russia now before it's too late.
And we are being told that you have several days and then the war will start. And I said, okay, then apply the sanctions today.
We have prepared together economic measures that will be swift, severe, and united.
Speaking earlier in the day, Vice President Harris said the U.S. and its allies are prepared to impose significant and unprecedented sanctions if Russia further invades Ukraine.
National borders should not be changed by force.
A U.S. official tells CBS News even after those meetings, America has not changed its position on sanctions. The U.S. still believes the best way to deter Russia from crossing that border is to hold its fire until if and when President Putin unleashes his. Christina Ruffini, CBS News, Munich.
And as the possibility of war continues, so does the threat of supply chain issues. Now, the U.S. Secretary of Commerce is urging Congress to pass a bill that would boost the U.S. manufacturing and fight inflation, saying it would make things easier for the auto industry, allowing more access to semiconductor chips. Now, these chips, which are mostly made overseas, have been a major factor for automakers, and the lack of has caused many local GM plants to close its doors for weeks at a time over the last 2 years. Now, those in favor believe fixing the shortage would boost the nation's economy, but some lawmakers oppose the bills, saying the actual problem goes back to the workforce.
I think everybody has learned quite painfully during COVID how vulnerable our supply chains are.
We just simply don't have enough people working, have come back from work after the pandemic to be able to fulfill this supply.
Now, the bills have already made it through both the House and the Senate, independent of one another, but now a final version has to be negotiated to get the same support together. In other infrastructure news, Detroit leaders have agreed to create a group that would look at significant problems. Now, Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb County commissioners have passed resolutions to establish regional partnerships to improve broadband infrastructure, equity, and the issues in water infrastructure. These counties will form committees which will provide direction and oversight, followed by research and plans of action, all of which will then be presented at a summit later this year.